Alrighty. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Meaningful Entrepreneurship Program webinar. And our program is where students learn to take risks, overcome fears, and pursue what they care about. We are so excited that you decided to join us today, and we hope that this webinar gives you a glimpse of the program and lets you see the magic of MEP. Raj started teaching this program about 5 years ago as part of the Stanford Pre-Collegiate program, and students love it. 80% of our program is hands-on projects, so students learn by doing.
Hey everyone, so now we're going to tell you a little bit about ourselves and give our introductions.
All right, yeah, so I'll start. So hey everyone, I'm Atash. I'm a first year student at UC San Diego, and I study computer engineering. And also on our team is Alex, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, but he is a first year at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Hey everyone, my name is Jacob. I'm a first year at UC Berkeley studying data science and applied math.
Hi everyone, I'm Jocelyn. I'm in 11th grade and I go to Eastside High School.
Hey everyone, I'm Manan. I'm a first year at UC Berkeley and I'm studying computer science and data science.
Hi everyone, I'm Rashmi and I'm a senior at Fremont High School.
Hello, and I'm Raj. I'm very proud that today's event is led by our MEP graduates. These grads have been associated with MEP for 3 years, and it's incredible to see their growth each year. You are seeing teamwork and creativity in action. I teach at Stanford University. My career has been as a Silicon Valley entrepreneur and executive. MEP is based on the curriculum I teach Stanford students and my experience while I was working in the Valley.
Awesome, so thanks Raj. We've got a jam-packed agenda for today. So we're going to be covering an overview of the course and an in-depth look at the student experience. And then we'll dive into the college journey, talking a little bit about what the students will experience as well as our own for those of us in university. And finally finish up with some stories from the teaching team and a Q&A. Another note is that none of us had any prior knowledge of entrepreneurship before this experience, so students should not feel nervous at all coming into the program.
So this is kind of our mission statement for our program. We strive to create an accessible and equitable environment through the virtual classroom and serve students from diverse cultural and economic backgrounds who learn in the same classroom and work together as teams. We all want to help students develop entrepreneurial skills while providing them with an environment where they feel heard, supported, and motivated. So our program is for all high school students who are motivated to learn, and it lasts 2 weeks from June 20th to July 1st, Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and all classes are held over Zoom. Throughout the course, they will create a solution with a 4 to 5 person team to solve a real-world problem that's meaningful to them. Before the camp starts, students will choose 3 topics they find interesting once they've been accepted. Groups will be assigned based on these selections. Some of our past topics included small businesses, social justice, online education, and many others. This graphic shows the 17 goals for sustainable development and some examples of topics students might use for their projects.
All right, so kind of for a timeline overview. So in the Meaningful Entrepreneurship Program, students will start by learning who they are and what they care about. And based on this reflection, they'll create a personal storyboard which will represent all of these things. Students will then become part of a team, define a problem with direct input from their users through empathy interviews, and they'll build a prototype solution for this problem that they care about and have identified. Students also have time in the program to collaborate with MEP graduate TAs and get mentorship for them. They'll then develop a business model and iterate on their prototype, finally delivering a pitch. And also throughout this program, students will have the opportunity to collaborate with industry professionals in mentor panels and learn from the experts through guest lectures. And finally, they will have the opportunity to reflect on their experience with creative writing exercises in the college workshop. And here we have a few demographics of our program. So many of our students are from the United States, but we've had some students from Mexico and Colombia. And we've also had many students from underrepresented schools who might not have easy access to summer programs such as MEP. And all of these students have received a 100% scholarship to our program.
So now we're going to get into the specific experience of MEP students. Now I want to hear from you. So take a minute or two to type into the chat what you think entrepreneurship is. It can be just a word or two or longer phrases or sentences. We'll put on a timer.
Yeah, we want you to experience what the students experience. So please go ahead.
Yeah, we got a fun little timer. This is what we do during the course as well, so you'll get to experience it. Awesome. So 30 seconds.
There is no right answer, so please go ahead.
Mhm.
Yeah, so creativity in business, building up yourself and others, developing creative solutions to problems. Great, great definitions there. Okay.
Yeah, these are all such great ideas. But now I'm going to pass it off to Raj to talk about the definition of entrepreneurship.
Thank you, Jocelyn. Let me explain why we use the term meaningful entrepreneurship. We define it as the ability to take risks and overcome fears to achieve success that has meaning to you. So what we really emphasize to students, it's their definition of success. Maybe it's making money, maybe it's making impact in society. Next, we really emphasize that it's not a straight line journey from start to finish. There are many ups and downs. It's kind of like basketball. You spend most of your time moving the ball, that is being resilient, and then score a point. So we teach students to learn to enjoy the journey and not just an end outcome. Entrepreneurship is not about just starting a business. It's an essential life skill that is helpful for all students in many situations in their life. For example, applying to college, studying STEM, maybe even beyond college. I found this at Stanford too, that these kind of things were really important for university students. Everyone needs to learn how to be confident and creative so they can achieve their potential.
So the first MEP is purpose and resilience. In this section, students learn about their strengths, weaknesses, and fears. It is only by recognizing aspects of yourself that we are then able to improve and discover our passions. So these are the storyboards for MEP graduates that show values, purpose, assets, barriers, and resilience plans. These examples show you how each student expresses their uniqueness. So on the left, long-term and short-term purposes is identified. In the middle, nature is used as a metaphor. The values are represented by the sun, which illuminates everything based on the research that if you live your values and have better chance of achieving your potential and being resilient.
So throughout MEP, students are working on several projects. Some are individual, like the one we showed you, and they share. Others are team-based projects. So this first one is based on behavioral science research that shows that our achievement and well-being not only depends on who we are, the self, the first one, but also depends a lot on the people around us, the situation, and our attitude. Our mindset is very important. students learn frameworks like this, which may seem kind of theoretical, but we bring them to life when they apply it to their own personal life. This is key for them, for us, to achieving our goals and dreams.
So the second pillar of MEP is design thinking. And design thinking is an iterative process, which is indicated by this infinity loop. So the first step of design thinking is empathy interviews. This includes reaching out to people who are affected by the problem you're trying to solve, and getting their perspective and their knowledge on that issue. Next, you want to define the problem based on what you learned and kind of specify a little bit more. And then you want to continue with creating ideas, brainstorming, prototyping, and testing out these prototypes. And then the final stage is creating a final solution. All right, and now another little exercise, I guess. So one of our projects last year was a social justice project. And we had the idea of creating a children's book that kind of addresses social justice issue and encouraged inclusion. So who would you guys interview if you were doing this project? So just type in chat, like maybe who you would conduct some empathy interviews with. If anyone has any ideas.
Yeah, this is a brainstorm. So whom would you talk to? Because let's say you were working on a project like this, who are the users out in the real world you would go talk to? Any ideas are good ideas. A wide range of young adults who could reflect on their childhood difficulties. Excellent. Thanks, Julie.
If anyone comes up with any more ideas, you can just throw them in the chat, but I think we're going to move on and then take a little closer look at our project.
A few 6 years old.
So this was actually Jacob and I's project when we were students in MEP, and we had to ask ourselves the same question so we could produce a project that met the needs of our customers. So our goal for the project was to create something for elementary students to be able to learn about inclusion in a fun and easy way. And we're going to show you like a clip of what we made.
The prototype for our project was to create an audiobook for 5-year-old kids. The audiobook goes along with this fun visual to engage the kids. The story of this book was about a bunch of plain black and white colored butterflies who were afraid of change. One day, a colorful butterfly shows up after traveling the world and gaining a bit of color after visiting various countries and opening its mind to change. The butterfly visits countries such as Mexico, Brazil, and Nigeria. The colorful butterfly then encourages the other butterflies to travel the world as well as gain color on their wings by being open and inclusive. The story was super simple so that elementary students would be able to understand it as well as learn about inclusion in a fun way. The prototype for
Sorry about this. Awesome. Go for it, Rashmi.
So as part of our pitch, we had to identify our target market, which was everyone who could buy the book. So our overall market size for all elementary school teachers, parents, and kids in the United States was 90 million. But once we realized that like 5-year-old students aren't going to be buying the books, we narrowed it down to just the parents and teachers. And so our target market size became 55.8 million. And finally, making our target market even more specific with only elementary school teachers and parents in California, our target market size was 5.2 million.
Awesome. So thanks, Rashmi. We're now going to talk a little bit more about our past projects, as well as the business model canvas, which is the third pillar of MEP. So here's the business model canvas. This is a tool that we use to identify the opportunity and impact that students can make with their projects. It's definitely a jam-packed chart and really helps you understand your customers, as well as the customer's needs and your needs, resources, costs, and many more. So we dissect this during the program and have students fill it out for their own projects. Cool. So let's look at cram teaching, which is a project that Atash and I had actually worked on during the 2020 online summer program to see how we tackled and solved online learning. So now we're going to show a video to talk a little bit about our project.
Entrepreneurship program, for the first time I learned about design thinking and behavioral science. When the coronavirus pandemic hit, we were forced to learn virtually. Both activities and classes were boring, and we felt disconnected to our teachers and our peers. After conducting 22 empathy interviews with our high school teachers, we determined the root problem, that for teachers, redoing lesson plans is highly time-intensive and difficult, like translating languages. We narrowed down our scope to streamline the process of converting in-person activities to online to increase student engagement. We brainstormed solutions, voted, and combined the best ideas. We created our product roadmap with the first step of creating the minimum viable product. We prototyped, and I received great feedback from those same teachers. I created the website, which features a dashboard collection of subjects and activities and a rating system for recommendations. Under each section, activities contain subheadings of useful information. I directed and produced our team ad, and we pitched to investors. I also discovered my potential to break barriers and how to be resilient. After the program, I implemented the product, and we have 5 test users. The product is still a work in progress. Estimating our market size and revenue generation and creating our business model canvas will direct the path forward. Whether we are learning online or offline, teachers and students will have a better experience.
All right, so that was our video on cram teaching.
Awesome. So now we're going to talk a little bit more about the college journey and how MEP has helped us graduates in our college application and decisions. So here are all the ways that MEP has helped all of us in our college journey. It really helps you reframe your mindset for all of the writing prompts and when you're talking about all of the most meaningful experiences. It was also really helpful in creating a college essay outline and brainstorming great ideas that you could write essays about. It also made me aware of my major selection and what I was actually passionate about. I was able to collaborate in great teams, which was a great experience I could put on my resume. And it also gave me a space to create passion projects. And here are some of the awesome schools that all of our MEP graduates collectively were accepted into. So we have a lot of experience writing great applications for schools in California and also just all over the country.
So yeah, with the college workshop, students are able to reflect upon their experiences throughout the program and put their thoughts and feelings into writing. And it's a great starting point for a personal statement or another essay about passions that they might write. And here we have a quote from one of our counselors who had students participate in that. And she had mentioned how her students grew from it and gained many useful skills.
So now we're going to talk about the teaching team and opportunities beyond the summer program. Many of our past students have taken on leadership roles in the teaching team, and in these roles, students learn a whole new set of skills, including web design, marketing, and communicating with a professional team. Now I'll let some of our TAs who are in college talk about how MEP has helped them thrive.
Awesome. So I can definitely begin. Actually, because of MEP, I definitely found a really great interest in entrepreneurship. And I thought the entire journey was just amazing, from creating a product and defining it and bringing this idea to reality. So as a result of MEP in UC Berkeley, I currently am also pursuing the certificate in entrepreneurship and technology. And I really feel like MEP highlighted this intersection between business and technology for social good. I definitely would hope to create a startup in the future using all the skills that I learned, and I think it was definitely such an amazing experience.
From MEP, I definitely learned that entrepreneurship can be applied in all different domains. So for any project, or kind of innovative thing that I'm doing in any of my classes, I use that growth mindset that I learned, and some of the practices that MEP has taught me to really be successful in any project domain.
Yeah, and I think in my case, that certainly gave me a greater awareness of like how the different fields can interact. Not even just like in STEM, right, where you might have computers interacting with like automotive industries or anything like that, but even just like STEM and non-STEM categories, you know, they can all really interact. And that also kind of gave me a larger understanding of how crazy and out there ideas might actually be able to be considered and used in a problem. And Alex had also talked about how it actually helped him determine his major in college and showed him that he could pursue a career in business and work for social changes. And this kind of gave him a broader scope of social context and, you know, just the general society in which entrepreneurship can apply. And now we'll hand it off to Rashmi and Jocelyn to talk a little bit about high school.
For me, I did MEP when I think it was my sophomore year. So doing MEP in high school taught me that being an entrepreneur is like much more than just creating a product. When I first did this, I thought that you just had to create a product and just like, I don't know, like suddenly the product is there. But on top of that, empathy is also there, communication, and being resilient through challenges as you're creating what you're trying to create.
So I was able to use MEP to learn about like making a design thinking model and a business canvas model to create my own clothing line. And obviously I had to go through many iterations, but I finally made my final designs. And then I decided on my target market, created my website, and then started selling the products.
Okay, and now we're going to talk a little bit about MEP Summer 2022. So our application for this summer's program is now open. The link can be found on our website, and the application closes May 15th. We will also host 2 to 3 webinars for potential students, where we will have an interactive and information presentation about the program and the incredible benefits. And finally, our program lasts from June 20th to July 1st.
Cool. So I'm going to finish up our presentation by going over a couple of frequently asked questions. So many students ask, what is the time commitment of the program? So it's from 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. PDT, where students get a lot of work time to do not only just in the course, but they can also work outside of the course. Many other students also ask, are there grades? So we believe that without grades, we can create passion projects with no bounds and with a little bit more freedom. So without having grades, this really benefited us in just being able to work on our projects and not have that, fear of getting that grade at the end of the class. Awesome. So many other students also ask, how much extra work is there outside of class? So throughout the course, students do empathy interviewing as well as work on developing their prototypes and their projects. So it kind of averages out to 2 hours per day. But of course, when working towards creating the final pitch towards the end of the program, a lot of students, meet for a long time after they've gotten to meet their teams and they know and feel more comfortable working with the teams. Towards the end, really delivering that final pitch is where everyone gives that push. And finally, one of the other biggest questions was, how do students prototype remotely? So a lot of our students use online collaboration tools like Wix for websites or Google Slides, as well as, if students want to create any 3D prototypes, they can use CAD software design if they have prior experience. So this will definitely be giving a lot of tools and resources to students, but it's really up to them to use them and use them specifically for during the program when creating their project. Awesome. So please encourage your students to apply today at mepinnovate.com. So all of our info is available on the website, and the application is available on a banner as well as the homepage with all of the information anyone needs to know to do the program.
Thank you, everybody, for making this presentation. I just want to bring everything together. In 2 weeks, there's a lot going on. And I want to remind you about the 3 pillars, which are actually being taught at Stanford. So the first one starts with behavioral science, and students learn their purpose and how to be resilient, because that's what gives them meaning. Secondly, they learn design thinking, because once I want to make impact in this area, design thinking is an approach that lets you be creative and create a compelling solution. And then the third one is the business model canvas, which helps you identify where is the opportunity, because you want to focus your effort where there is an opportunity and you can scale and make a big contribution. And then we pull all of this together in the college journey and help students reflect, so that when they come to the counselors or when they're filling out their college apps, they captured what they learned in math. So thank you all the people who joined us from all over the world. We really appreciate so much.